Welcome back to Houston Newsmakers and to a friend of this program, Rania Mancarios, the president and CEO of Crime Stoppers of Houston. Good to see you. I'm glad that you came on and accepted my invitation to come on. You said that Crime Stoppers is a leading public safety nonprofit, and as such, you have very close relationships with law enforcement. Being able to see both sides of what now is a contentious relationship, what's Crime Stoppers proposing as steps to kind of bring these sides together?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. You know I love spending any time with you, but I'll summarize it with one word: balance. I think what we're doing is in feeling such deep emotion across this country, very valid emotion. We are possibly rushing to create solutions that may not be in the best interest in the long run. Now, does that mean police departments don't need reform? They do. And actually, everybody agrees. We're all on the same page there. But we don't want to lose balance. I'm looking at cities across America, and it looks like some of the proposals are purely punitive in nature, targeting law enforcement. And I don't think that's the solution. And ultimately, it will hurt communities in the long run.
One of the things I know that the wording makes a difference. I know we see these signs calling for defunding police. That means one thing to one person, but it means something altogether different for those who are proponents of change. They don't necessarily mean taking money totally away from police, maybe just redistributing it.
Exactly. And I think it depends where you are. So you see parts of Seattle where they literally want to defund police. They don't want law enforcement presence in their communities. But across, and what I fear is that because those communities are loud, you're seeing city councils actually feel pressure to respond and give in to those requests. But we've got to remember that we have to do what's in the best interest of the community. And law enforcement as a whole, I keep saying, they didn't wait. We're taking over. We're going to handle all social services. We're going to strong arm the community. Law enforcement only responds to requests that they are told to respond to by policymakers. And based on community need. So we have to be careful about where these narratives and where these conversations are going. Defund the police, should we be moving some funds away from law enforcement and injecting them into social services? Maybe the question should be, should we just be injecting funds into social services? And they can be two separate issues, and I really wish they'd be handled separately.
You know, so you talked about communities. So what would you suggest the people who really have an interest in making a difference? How would you suggest they go about the community involvement to make a true difference in changing some of those policies?
Well, listen, we've been around for 40 years. This year is our 40th year of service. And I can tell you in 2013, when I took the program over, it was hard for me to get people engaged. Until they became a victim of crime, it was very hard for me to get them to attend our meetings or hear what's going on. Now, Houston's become such an active city, and we have a long list of community members who say, no, we want to be involved. But we want to make sure they're educated. So in some areas, we need to call policymakers. In some areas, we need to have a stronger presence in schools. In some areas, we need to be have a stronger force in communities. So there are many ways we can come together to bridge gaps. In other areas, it's about bringing law enforcement and community members together at roundtable discussions, maybe even just for a baseball game. There are many ways to bridge communities and to also work on real substantive change. But it doesn't have to be strong arming. It doesn't have to be punitive. We can come together in a positive way. And I think Crime Stoppers has done that historically and statistically, if you actually really look at our numbers and what we've been doing.
Sounds like you're ready to take the lead in being an arbiter of all of this and try to make it happen.
You know, it's been our goal for a really long time. And we always say, don't wait to become a victim of crime to care about crime prevention. And on the flip side, we should all have a vested interest in our communities. This is where we live. These are our homes, where we send our kids to school, where we have our investments, where we plan to retire. And law enforcement is a great community partner. I mean, look at what we did in Harvey. Who wasn't thankful for our first responders and law enforcement partners at that time? Does that mean that we are okay with police brutality? Absolutely not. But they can be two separate conversations. I think a majority of us are mature enough to handle both. Very complicated, very compact, but we can handle them both reasonably. And that's our call, really our call to action right now.
I am not shocked that under your leadership, your organization is ready to take on such a challenge. I look forward to hearing the results of this. I am going to make sure that I put the Crime Stoppers information on my Houston Newsmakers page on click2houston.com so people can contact you and find out how they can get involved in making this all happen. Are you optimistic about making positive change?
I am certainly in Houston. I think we have great leadership with our mayor and with our chief of police and with our sheriff. I implore the community to really push for solutions that are reasonable, that are not punitive in nature. And I think Houston's always actually been at the forefront of doing those things the right way. And so I'm excited. I know we will be involved. We're getting involved, boots on the ground, and we're excited to do so.
Thank you, Rania. Look forward to great success, and we'll look forward to having you come back and talk about it at some point, okay?
You got it. Thank you, Cambrell.
Thank you.